Some birds sing to greet the sunrise, but others sing to haunt the night. The barn owl's chilling scream, the common potoo's mournful cry, and the kookaburra's unsettling laughter are more than just eerie sounds. They're warnings, love songs, and calls of survival. These voices echo through forests and swamps, making travelers shiver and legends come alive. Which of these haunting calls will stay with you long after the sound fades? Dare to listen and step into the strange, shadowed world of birds. In the hush of North America's deep forests, a voice breaks the stillness with a question that feels almost human. This is the unmistakable call of the barred owl, a bird with coal dark eyes and streaked feathers that seem to dissolve into the shadowed trees. From Canada's misty woodlands to the swampy lowlands of the eastern United States, the barred owl rarely leaves its familiar haunts. Its call is more than a single sound. It's a performance. Sometimes it's a slow, deliberate question, spaced as if whispered by someone unseen. Other times, it swells into a rolling chorus of a deep chant that can echo for miles. Up close, the sound might feel oddly friendly. From a distance, it takes on a ghostly tone that locals say reminds them of wandering spirits. By night, the barred owl hunts frogs, rodents, and small birds. And each time that haunting call drifts through the trees, the forest seems to pause, leaving only the echo and your imagination to linger in the dark. Deep in the heart of the Amazon rainforest, a single piercing scream slices through the heavy air, so loud and clear it can be heard more than a mile away. This chilling cry belongs to the screaming piha, a plain gray bird that might look unremarkable, but possesses one of the loudest and most startling voices in the avian world. Found across Brazil, Peru, and Colombia, the screaming piha blends almost invisibly into the canopy. Yet its voice dominates the entire forest. The call is a sharp, two-note whistle. That starts high, then plunges downward like a falling star. It's a sound that can feel almost electric, exhilarating in daylight, but deeply unsettling when darkness falls and the jungle grows silent around it. Locals call it the voice of the Amazon, a soundtrack to the rainforest itself. But when that scream echoes through the trees at night, it feels less like a song and more like the jungle itself crying out in the dark. On a misty night in the southern forests, a soft rises from the trees, a sound that has earned the Udral Boo its name. Known as the smallest owl in Australia, this wide-eyed bird also haunts the forests of New Zealand and even parts of Chile, where locals call it the con-con. The boobook's call is soft yet persistent, like a steady heartbeat pulsing through the night. To some, it's a soothing forest lullaby. To others, it carries an eerie edge, especially when it floats through foggy valleys, sounding like a distant voice that refuses to fade. In Chilean folklore, its call is often linked to witches and omens, earning it the chilling nickname, the Wizard's Song. By day, the Udral Boo hides in dense foliage, perfectly camouflaged, waiting for night to hunt insects and small mammals. And when that gentle boo-book echoes again, it's as if the forest itself is whispering, a sound that can comfort or chill, depending on the heart that hears it. Under the starlit skies of Australia, a strange guttural sound drifts through the night. That seems to vibrate from the very bark of the trees. This haunting voice belongs to the tawny frogmouth, a nocturnal bird so peculiar that many mistake it for an owl, though it's a distant cousin instead. By day, the tawny frogmouth disappears in plain sight, pressing its body against tree branches and freezing in place, looking exactly like a broken limb. But when darkness falls, it awakens and calls, its voice a deep, resonant hum that can feel both soothing and unsettling, like a lullaby sung by the forest itself, with a warning hidden between the notes. Often dubbed the ghost bird by those who hear it at night, the tawny frogmouth doesn't hunt with talons like an owl. It snaps up moths and beetles with its wide frog-like beak. And each time that oom rolls through the trees, it feels like the forest itself is breathing in the dark. In the warm, moonlit nights of Cuba, a strange, wavering call drifts over the fields. Part whisper, part wail, like a voice carried from another world. This is the sound of the Cuban Nightjar, a shadowy bird of dusk and darkness, whose very name ties back to old legends of creatures that sucked milk from goats, earning the entire Nightjar family a reputation steeped in mystery. By day, it vanishes into the forest floor, its mottled plumage blending seamlessly with leaf litter and soil. But at night, the Cuban Nightjar becomes a voice. A soft peer that rises and falls, sounding like a lost soul calling into the dark. To some, it's beautiful. To others, it's deeply unsettling, a reminder that the night still holds secrets we don't understand. The Cuban Nightjar feeds on moths and beetles snatched from mid-air, its flight silent, its presence almost unseen. Yet its call lingers long after it stops, a phantom echo that leaves the listener unsure if it was a bird or something else entirely. On moonlit nights in the jungles of South America, an eerie, mournful cry rises from the darkness. The haunting voice belongs to the Common Potoo, or urutau as it's known in local folklore, a bird that seems carved from the wood it perches on by day and comes alive only when the sun has vanished. Legend has it that the urutau's cry is the voice of a grieving mother searching for her lost child, and when you hear it under a full moon, it feels less like a bird and more like the forest itself is weeping. The sound is long, wavering, and full of sorrow, the kind of call that stops you in your tracks, unsure whether to listen or to run. The Common Potoo hunts moths and flying insects at night, its wide, gaping mouth snapping prey mid-air. But it's not the hunt you'll remember. It's that plaintive, echoing through the trees, a sound that lingers in the mind like a ghost you can't quite forget. High above the rainforests of Madagascar, an eerie whistle pierces the humid air. A thin, quivering note that rises and falls like a cry from something lost. This strange, almost otherworldly call belongs to the Cuckoo Roller, a bird found nowhere else on Earth. Its name a mix of its cuckoo-like build and its rolling, wavering song. The Cuckoo Roller's song is a thin whistle, sometimes sharp and cutting, other times low and mournful. When heard in the dim light before dawn or in the stillness after rain, it has the power to unsettle, sounding less like a bird and more like a distant voice calling out for help. By day, it glides gracefully across the forest canopy, catching insects in flight. But when that whistle echoes through the trees, it feels as if the island itself is sighing, a lonely, spectral sound that belongs only to Madagascar. At dawn in the Australian bush, the silence is broken by a burst of manic laughter. It's the unmistakable call of the laughing Kookaburra, a stocky kingfisher with a big head, a sturdy beak, and a voice that sounds startlingly human. By day, its laughter is cheerful, almost contagious, and has earned it a place in Australian folklore as the bushman's alarm clock. But when darkness falls, that same laugh takes on a different tone, echoing through empty forests like the sound of something unseen chuckling in the shadows. Kookaburras feast on snakes, insects, and small reptiles, often slamming their prey against branches before swallowing. And as that eerie, rolling laughter carries through the night, it feels less like joy and more like the forest itself is laughing at you. In the shadowy edges of South American forests, an unsettling cry echoes. Part hiss, part scream. A sound that seems to slip between animal and ghost. This voice belongs to the striped owl, a striking raptor with piercing amber eyes and bold dark streaks running down its creamy chest. Ranging from Brazil to Argentina, the striped owl hunts in open fields at night, yet its call is what lingers in the mind. It shifts between a sharp, cat-like wail and a rough, guttural hoot, as if two voices are speaking at once. Heard in the dark, the sound feels both familiar and unnervingly wrong, like a domestic pet crying out in a place it doesn't belong. It feeds on rodents, bats, and insects, swooping silently under the cover of night. But when that strange, wailing cry cuts through the air, it feels as if the darkness itself is calling and waiting for an answer. In the dead of night, a piercing scream rips through the stillness. Not a hoot, but a raw, chilling shriek that sounds more like a ghost than a bird. This terrifying cry belongs to the barn owl, a pale, heart-faced hunter whose white wings glow under the moonlight, earning it the nickname the ghost owl. Found on every continent except Antarctica, the barn owl hunts silently over fields and farmlands, its wings whispering through the dark. But its voice is anything but silent, a screech so sharp and harsh that for centuries people believed it was a warning from the other side, a harbinger of death or misfortune. It feeds on mice, voles, and other small creatures, swooping down with deadly precision. And when that unearthly scream tears through the night, it's easy to see why, for generations, people thought they were hearing the voice of a spirit, not a bird. As the last echoes fade into the night, one thing becomes clear. The world of birds is not always filled with gentle songs and cheerful melodies. Some voices chill us, some unsettle us, and some, like the ones you've heard tonight, linger long after the sound is gone. But these eerie cries are not omens of doom. They are the language of survival, courtship, and warning, written in the oldest music on earth. Every scream, hoot, and wail tells the story of a living creature, claiming its place beneath the stars. So the next time you hear a sound in the dark that makes your heart skip a beat, listen closer. It might not be a ghost, but a bird, and perhaps, in its strange and haunting voice, the forest itself is speaking to you. Which of these voices unsettled you the most? Tell us in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, so we can keep exploring the strange and beautiful sounds of the wild together.